What's going on, guys? This is Roman Iron by McKinney. Today, I want to talk about. I probably made a video about this before, I can't remember, but I'm going to elaborate anyway. Reminding you that all the way I perceive life, the way from my assumption, is how the universe behaves as states moving in and out of viewpoint. So, like, for example, like you're in a viewpoint where this video exists relative to you. When you click off of this video, it's it's still in existence. It's just you're just not tuned into it relative to your frame of reference. And your frame of reference, what you're constantly thinking about, you'll see events relating to your assumption, your frame of reference. When you constantly think, say for example, sometimes sometimes I'll see like an old timey car, maybe like in the 40s, 50s, maybe 30s, 40s. I don't know, but sometimes I'll see cars like that, for instance, and very rarely I'll see them. And sometimes maybe I find that is when you slip into a state that you're thinking of a car from like the 1930s, for example. You'll start seeing that car. If you think of that more often, you'll see more cars. You'll see more of those cars. And it's not like because that's where I go with them. Universes crossing in and out of existence, intersecting with each other. It's everything's rearranged itself, guys. The entire universe has rearranged itself, including your body interconnected with it, relative to your frame of reference, directed by your self-narration. So when you self-narrate, like 1930s cars, that you'll see more of them. You'll start seeing more of them, guys. I truly make the assumption that if you dominantly focus on like seeing yourself in like the year 1930s, I don't know, then the world around you will just be like people would say. I believe it even comes to a point where it's like people will start saying, "Is it 2022?" And then they'll be like, "No, what are you talking about? It's 1930." And that becomes your dominant reality when you truly focus on something like that, guys. That's a form of time travel. Your time travel is not like this machine you take. I can be. I'm not saying it's wrong. But I'm saying, even if there was a time machine discovered, it came from someone's frame of mind. You can time travel with your frame of mind, your frame of reference. When you get a different viewpoint of the same universe. All infinite possibilities exist here now, guys. Even when you hear maybe experts say the world or the universe has been around billions of years ago, again, that's from a frame of reference, guys. That's from someone's what's considered as relative fact was once only an assumption. So, our assumptions reveal our objective experiences, guys. When Neville talks about like law of assumption, I mean, it's not an actual. Well, I find law of assumption is, or the principle of assumption, the power of assumption, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you assume is true, whatever you consent to as true, becomes relatively true to you. And others mirror your assumption, your doubts and beliefs, all those things, guys. You are the observer moving through infinite states of yourself. You get fragmented aspects of yourself in people, in events, in nature, the universe itself. The universe simply mirrors your frame of reference, your relative frame of reference, directed by your self-narrative. And the Word was made flesh. The inner self-narration was made flesh. Was made manifested. This cat was made manifested. Chester, man. So yeah, guys, it's pretty cool to play with this kind of thinking. It's there's no right or wrong way of thinking, guys. That's another thing too. Like, you know, I talk about, I say stuff like you're still, you're not going against the laws of physics. You're conforming to them from a relatively and uniquely different frame of mind. But if you want to think that you're defining laws of physics, that's fine too. Whatever you assume is true becomes true, guys. That's So yeah, you don't have to feel like you have to be bound. You don't, even if I say something like conform to the laws of physics kind of thing, even if that feels limited to you, don't take my words for it. I mean, because laws of physics, I think, is one way to kind of explain things in a logical way. Just to kind of, I find it grounded. I like to explain. I like to make my messages grounded and practical, and tangible. And not some kind of, sometimes I try to get out of it. I don't like to use words like esoteric, or, especially on here, I don't like to use words like esoteric, or consciousness, spirituality, all these things. I love using the word, for me, I believe consciousness, I see as consciousness as mirroring, affecting, and interacting with itself. I don't always say it on here. I don't like to say it too often to an audience. But I live it. I live as consciousness occupying this physical body or antenna, this sacred temple. Raymond. And I am you, and you are me. That kind of talk there is like, that's why that's why I bring in stuff like laws of physics, just to keep things kind of practical, logical, and grounded, and not make the messages sound so delusional. Because you can approach this law of assumption or manifestation, guys, or you can approach this way of life from a grounded standpoint and not become delusional. Because everyone has free will, guys. Everyone has free will to view life however they want. You're not controlling anyone. You're just getting a different viewpoint of what already is. That's it. There are infinite viewpoints of the same person. There are infinite viewpoints of the same event. There are infinite viewpoints of the same universe. We're all observing the same substance from relatively different frames of mind. Everything's energy vibrating on different frequencies. Your frequency is what you frequently occupy with your observation. What you frequently occupy reveals itself relative to you. Everything's energy, guys. And I don't say it like all woo-woo kind of thinking, because just think about it. Everything is just solidified energy. That fence right there is vibrating particles made to appear as solid, but it's energy, guys. And the space between you and me, this video you're watching me, was assumed as empty space, is an energetic field. And that's how we communicate with each other. When you communicate with me objectively, I communicate with myself subjectively. And when I communicate with you objectively, you're communicating with yourself subjectively with my voice. Consciously or unconsciously. That's how, when I talk about consciousness as mirroring, affecting, and interacting with itself. It's in everything, guys. Everything. It's above all, through all, and in all. It supersedes all time, space events. Your frame of reference. Just like time space tells matter how to move, and matter tells space-time how to curve. And both space-time and matter are determined by your relative frame of reference. You are the one that causes matter to move, and you are the one that causes space-time to curve. Your relative observation, your self-narration, rearranges the objective universe relative to your frame of reference. You're constantly orienting your frame of reference. You're constantly moving through states, guys. And when you move through states, the objective universe is rearrange itself. The objective universe is frozen. Is frozen in space, guys. Or it's frozen. It's suspended in space until you occupy the state. Then it becomes animated. So, guys, you are free to choose however you want to view life. Even if even if you believe in manifesting, you don't have to believe in anything I say on here, guys. I don't care if you believe what I'm saying or not. Because you have the free will to reject everything I say. I would rather you reject all my messages on here and to think for yourself than to accept everything I say and to never discover your uniqueness, your own uniqueness. I keep my messages very simple, to the point, and just it's applicable to anyone. Everyone has access to viewing life how they want. Life is simply how you view it, guys. We're becoming increasingly aware of what already is. We're getting different viewpoints of what already is. You're always orienting yourself in a hall of infinitely framed mirrors. And when you frequently occupy a state, that becomes your dominant experience. You don't lose anything, guys. Everything's available to you here and now. That's the beauty of it, guys. Nothing's lost. Nothing's taken from you. Things that seem like they're not here, they're just out of your viewpoint, guys. Everything's available right here, right now. Say like if you're in the America, and say like you want to be in like Japan or something. You're already in Japan. It's just out of viewpoint right now. And when you deeply desire that you're in Japan, and you truly convince yourself you're in Japan, even though if physically you're in America right now, you will be in Japan. There will be ways. Your physical actions will be automatic, guys. Your physical actions are automatic based on your frame of reference. So, guys, I hope this video helps. I bless you all, and happy manifesting. What would Iron Body do?